Hey folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Kerbal Space Program. Actually, I'm going to pause here. We're currently on Minmus, and we also have some sort of satellites in orbit around Minmus that we have to, fixify at some point. But I just noticed that if I said let the game run for just a minute here between episodes, that we actually did regain a connection to the KSC. I'm assuming whatever satellites, because only two of these around Kerbin point to Minmus, the other two point to the moon. So they must have been blocked or something. So it looks like we have a tiny window before we lose our connection again. So I'm going to make sure to very quickly switch back to the Lander 1 and transmit as much science as I can before we lose that. And then we'll go and figure out what we want to do next. So pressure scan. Oh, we actually can't transmit it for full. But crew data, we can do that. We can do the telemetry that you get full stuff. The temperature, I'm actually surprised the temperature can't be full. We only have the one temperature scanner. I'm going to transmit it because we might be trying a second EVA and grab it and surface sample and grab it, and apparently that counts as being on the ground. We're going to have to put our flag there in a second. Let me review the stored data because we can probably transmit the EVA, and we can. We're going to have to keep the surface sample, which is pretty strong. Magnometer, I can't remember if we can transmit that. Most likely we can't. We can for full science. Good. We're going to keep our material data, and the mystery goo as well. We'll have to keep that. Okay. So I think we have transmitted all the data that we can. What I'm going to do is... let me close this. Toggle sensors. There we go. And the science bays, once we're done with them, we should close them up. Toggle that, especially if we're going to take off. Toggle more bay doors. And toggle these bay doors, because we're going to want to do that all before we re-enter. So now, yeah, we have to decide if we're going to move to a different biome. Oh, we do have to plant a flag, though. So just quick save one more time before we switch ships and things. Effectively, what we're doing by... doing an EVA with Lamfair over here. We'll actually let go. Boom. We already have the surface sample. I mean, I'll grab it again, although I'm pretty sure what it's going to tell us when we board again is that, oh, you already have one of these stored. It'll have to be deleted or dumped, and that's okay. All right, let's venture out a little bit here and plant ourselves our flag. Tee-dee! Now, we didn't have a mission for the flag. We just had a mission to land, but there we go. What could possibly go wrong? Where are we? It's not telling me here. We are on the lesser flats, I think. First landing. Lesser flats is I'm pretty sure what it is, and I like to put the biome name in there. We don't need a text. I like to put the biome name in there so that I can remember, where biomes I've been in. And hopefully I'm right about the lesser flats, but I'm pretty sure. I guess I could review the sample. Yeah, lesser flats. There. Cool. And the EVA report, which we've already transmitted, so it's correctly worth nothing. Okay. Activate the rocket pack. And gently grab. 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 There we go. It was a little high. Yeah, there we go. We're going to dump our surface samples because we have a duplicate of that. Okay. So, we may try to go there. I'm really worried about running out of Delta V for the home trip, but I think we have tons. We'd be going west, which is north, which is that way on the nav ball. And I think is over that way. But we'll have to pay attention to the nav ball specifically to do this. Alright, well, I guess we'll give it a go. Just needs a little bit of thrust. Good. And pitch over that way. Oh, I need the stability on. There we go. Direction is good. Good, good, good. Current apoapsis 790, so we're still climbing. Probably want to shoot it a little higher than that. There we go. This is using very little delta V to do this, which is nice. And yeah, we're just going to try to land on one of these flats. We could probably visit quite a few biomes, but I'm not going to risk that much. We're just going to visit one more, and then hope that that's good enough. All right, coming in our apo in 35 seconds. We may... Yeah, I think we might need to go a little higher than this. Excuse me, this is a very high ridge, apparently. And I suppose I can visualize things. Oh no, it won't get us where we're going. There we go. Something more like that. Okay, it's really not using that much delta V, which is good. And actually, I think what we'll want to do is burn a little bit more horizontal. There we go. Maybe even a bit more. Okay. Good. And we're going to prepare to be retrograde once we get past sort of around here. Actually, it's not even going to be retrograde necessarily. We're going to want to be burning eastwards to kill our horizontal motion first and then flip to retrograde. All right. That's as much as I can zoom in here. I guess I'll time warp a little bit. Always risky. But I think we're okay. Watch me screw this all up now. Okay, a little past the apoapsis. Let's go ahead and start looking at what our ground looks like. Actually, this looks pretty good right here. So I'm going to burn here. Try to kill off the horizontal speed. There we go. And retrograde. Really? Did I overshoot it? Oh, no, no. No, we're good. We push the retrograde marker. There we go. As much as possible towards the middle. Actually, still have a little bit more horizontal speed than I would like. Oh, I'm in orbit mode. Oh, shit. That is not helping. There we go. There we go. Now we're talking about millimeters for my horizontal speed. Okay. Yeah, we may have used a little bit more delta V than we wanted there because we were in the wrong targeting mode. That is unpleasant. It takes very little delta V to go into orbit from Minmus, though, and then our return trip is also going to be very lightweight. God, I hope I have everything set up correctly. Okay, we are quite high. There we go, still 1.5 kilometers above the actual surface. And one, and I mean, so we did go a little higher than we needed to, although you certainly want some of that for a margin of error. Okay, closing in on 600 meters above the surface, going very slowly. Okay, we're about 30 seconds to landing. 25 seconds to landing. Okay, just a little over 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds, unless I keep, slowing us down. About 10 seconds away at our current rate. And I'm obviously, since I keep slowing down, those times change, but I'm using that as a guide as to whether I'm going too fast. All right, trying to keep it around 2 meters per second. Going to stability assist mode. And touchdown. There you go, turn off the SAS, save a little bit of power. Awesome! Do I have a connection? No, I don't. So I can't transmit, but that's potentially okay. Let me do the bits that we don't transmit anyway, and then we're going to check our satellite situation. We might just fast forward a little bit. We do have plenty of life support stuff. I'm going to keep that. And we're going to keep that. And quick save before we switch ships. Okay. Because that can always lead to wonky crashes. And we're going to switch to Lander 1. Which indeed does not have a connection, because I think we're currently have Minmus between us. But if we warp to around here... Boom. Good. And that should give us back our connection to the ground. So again, quick save before we switch ships. Switch to here. And check. Yep, there we go. We are within range of the satellite, and the satellite has a connection back home, so we can transmit a crew report, transmit some telemetry, and transmit the... we're going to keep the temperature scan. Yeah, we're going to keep this one. We'll transmit the magnometer. We are going to EVA. Plant another flag. Wee thump. All right, just wander a little bit away. EVA report. Keep data, because we can't transmit from our little thing. I wonder if you can get antennas for your little controller, for your little backpack. That'd be cool. Keep a sample, and these are the lowlands. Was that it? The lowlands, yes. Plant flag. We are just a hop and a skip away from our very first spot. So, we're going to call this the hop and skip. Oops. These are the lowlands. Oh, it felt pretty high to me. I guess that's going up from sea level. It'll do that. Rocket boost. And go. And wow, that was... Oh, I jumped instead of doing the vertical boost. I was like, that seemed a lot higher than last time. And board. And review. We can transmit our EVA. We're going to keep the surface sample. We're going to keep the surface sample. Okay. We are going to close up all our bins. Toggle that. Toggle the goo bay doors, Hal. And the materials doors. Okay. It is now time for us to go home. So, let me go a quick save one more time here before we start some wonky maneuvers. And yeah, all we're going to do is take off east. Where's east on here? East is over that way, where we're mostly still pointing. I'm going to turn on the SAS first. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit like full on the gas for like just a couple of seconds to raise this up. Then I'll turn the correct way and burn mostly like horizontal. And I think this will be fine. There we go. Already our apoapsis is 3 kilometers up. Although that's not that high above where we are now. And then, there we go. Burn this way. Which will put us into a nice arc. Pushing up our apo, and whoa! Maybe a little higher than it needed to be. We can go ahead and, there we go, unset the target. Which apparently you can't do from here for some reason. You can do it by double-clicking on the other screen. People cleared that up for me. It's very handy. Okay. So to escape Minmus, we don't even have to circularize. All we have to do is burn on the inside here. And that will give us our escape. That will also at the same time act as a retrograde to Kerbin, which will help us come back home. So, before we time warp, let me quick save. Lock you to prograde. I'm going to just warp to around here, which will give us an extra few moments to make sure that our retrograde is still correct, because as we drift around here in time warp, we're not going to be rotating. So we're actually going to end up facing the wrong way for a little bit. We still have our connection, not that we particularly need it. And at some point, these guys are about to reach their apoapsis, which is when, oh, crew report, which is when we're going to want to go ahead and circularize one of my 2 satellites. I'm going to want to circularize it. The other one will do one more loop, and hopefully they'll have a nice amount of distance between the 2 of them. I think now would be a swell time to start my prograde burn. So let's go ahead and do that. And there's the escape. And then we can keep burning though, because we're trying to bring this way down. Hopefully we don't have any weird encounters with the moon that gets in my way. Now, I'm not going to finish it completely, because I'm not necessarily pointing in exactly the most optimal direction. Oh, there's a little bit of a chance of encounter there. And there might be a chance of miscalculation. So yeah, especially as we get here, I'm going to wait, because we may not be facing exactly the right way for the actual retrograde to Kerbin. So I'm going to wait until we've escaped the sphere of influence, and then I will switch maneuvers at that point. So before we fast forward, we'll do a quick save. And then we will go ahead and... Oh, actually, cancel. You got to pay attention to these satellites here, because I suspect it'll be time for them to do their prograde burn before I leave. About the same time, but that was pretty good. Okay, so before we change satellites, again, we quick save. I'm going to switch to probe 1. So many simultaneous things going on. Where's probe 2? There should be 2 of them. Lander 1 probe. Oh, they're probably both called exactly the same thing. Oh yeah, there you go. Slight difference in their orbits, which is fine. Their time to apoapsis, 44 minutes. So I think that's okay. Mostly. Oh, I don't want to use this one. I want to use this one. I suppose I can plan things, right? We can put in a maneuver node here. Actually, that's all I should have done. And, whoops. I think that's further. We want to bring it to around 500. Yeah, right, where the 2 things flip. Right around like that. Use the mouse wheel a bit. Oh, even with the mouse wheel, it's happening also very quick. Okay, close enough. So you are going to face your node, and then you'll execute it when you get there in 43 minutes. And the other one doesn't have to worry about that. Okay, good. And I believe they will execute it when I'm not controlling it. I'm actually not sure about that. All right, I can fast forward to this. I think this will happen before we leave the sphere of influence. And even if we've left it for a couple of minutes, it's not going to be the end of the world. We're so far away. There you go. Execute your maneuver. Oh, your engine's not actually enabled, is it? Because things never got staged. There we go. Okay, whoa, cancel. Cancel. Kill, stop. Wow. Shit. You were not facing the right wave to do anything. And now you're going to escape. Awesome. You burned way too long, because it wasn't supposed to be a very long burn. You have crap tons of delta V, though. Where, like, are you just going that way? Oh! That's what's going on. You're not actually rotating. Oh, wait, hold on. This has a gimbal. You might not have a rotation wheel, and you don't. You can't actually turn yourself properly. Whoops. Yeah, we can't steer. Does seem to imply it's got a gimbal. So I would think you could steer with the engine on. But no, we can't. Okay, well. This one's going into deep space. Have fun. This one here is going to stay in its really weird orbit of Minmus and maybe not complete our quest. So these probe cores, the little probe cores that I brought, don't have a reaction wheel. The Probodobodines. The Octo-2s don't have reaction wheels. I needed to put a reaction wheel on here. I designed this so well for so many other things. First of all, it's cute as a button. It's got enough power, enough solar panel to run everything that it was supposed to do. But it can't turn. Pooh! Yeah, well. No sense crying over it. Let's go look at our tin can. Quick save before we change. And switch to. Didn't cost us that much more to bring the satellites. And we learned something. Okay, how are we doing? Yeah, we still have ages before we get there. I don't see any reason not to just time warp. Let's do that. Goodbye! Goodbye, Lander 1 probe. I could probably send back some telemetry from outside of Kerbin's sphere of influence. That'd be some new science that I don't have yet. So, yeah, alright. You'll go and visit wonderful things. Okay. And, yeah, we will take this material study in high Kerbin orbit, since we didn't end up using all my material studies on the ground. We're going to make sure to close that bay. Oh, that's a different bay. This one here. Before we do our reentry. Did I not, there it goes. Okay. And so now we can properly do a retrograde burn. We're basically at apoapsis, so we can bring our peri, which is still very high, down, 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 down. That's inconvenient. We are, in fact, going to smack into the moon. Well, we're going to fly by the moon. Is it there right now? We are going to fly by the moon. Which is going to impact our thing, but not too badly. If I do... Okay. And a wee bit more. Okay. So we're going to fly by here. It's going to modify our course a little bit, but we're still going to end up at 25K above the surface of Kerbin, which should be more than enough for our braking maneuver, because we should go through here, rejoin the orbit here. I think everything is okay. I'm about to do a time warp, so let's go ahead and do a quick save. What's important is we're not going to smack into the moon. And what we can do in the lunar orbit, we can readjust our path at that point. Oh, right. I'm like, why does it look so weird? Because I'm focusing on the wrong thing. Life support is still fine, yeah? Oh, right, I can't get out on the screen. Yeah. The only thing that's ever low is the electricity. And we have solar panels for that. Got lots of food and water. I think we're still looking good. I'll feel more confident once we've entered the moon sphere of influence, in case there's any modifications to our orbit that happens at that point. There we go. Ooh, can transmit some telemetry. Oh, no comms. That's okay. And yeah, we're going to do the lunar flyby, and we are still going to end up within enough of the Kerbin atmosphere that everything is going to be hunky-dory. Quick save before we do another time warp. We're far enough from the moon that it's not really affecting our orbit that much. Just a slight deviation. And we factored that in. Good. Still a little upset about the satellite. But what the hell. Okay. Go through the sphere of influence chain. And tick, tick, tick. Tick, tick. There we go. Periapsis, 27. Not bad. Not bad at all. Pretty happy with that. I mean, we could be a little lower, but there's no way we're not going to be stopped by the air at that point. We hit enough of the thick stuff. This will give us a nice slow descent. And actually, because we're going to hit the upper atmosphere, it will drop our peri a little bit more than that as well. But it's enough that we will definitely air brake, I think. suppose I could burn a little there. For anyone who's paranoid. Nice and thick air. Okay, I definitely don't want to go any lower than that because it'll be too steep of a reentry. I do have a heat shield, of course, but other than that, we're going to wait. All right, so I'm going to keep these bits with me for now because they have my solar panels. We will jettison them maybe a little bit more like here. Oh, we have a connection, which means I could go and transmit that crew report or telemetry or whatever it was. Stored data. Keep that. Keep that. Oh. Oh, is it in one of my little cores here? No. There it is. Review. Transmit that. There we are. I was worried that it was going to... Oh, right. I don't have a core on the side anymore. I was worried it was going to be in one of the side ones that's going to be jettisoned. Time to parry, 7 minutes. So we are coming in pretty quick. So yeah, 7 minutes from now we're going to be there. So we're going to have enough power. I think we can jettison our solar panels at this point. We are facing retro, which is fine. And yeah, the next stage is... Well, those don't really count anymore. They've already been launched, so that hardly matters. We need to fix our staging. So next stage is to detach those two. Great. Then after that comes the drogue chute, and then our actual chutes. Quick save in case I misclick something, or stage one extra time too many. Okay. That didn't go. There we go. Whee! Pretty! I like it when they spin away like that. They will burn up in the atmosphere. I'm going to preemptively make sure I'm in surface retrograde mode, which is the one I'm interested in staying locked in on. And yeah, we should have lots of power. I hope. Suppose if I'm concerned, I could stop the... turn off the SAS for now. Save a little bit of extra juice. I think we're okay. It is draining a little faster than I was happy with. I guess the probe core. Can I turn off the probe core? No, I want to leave it on. And yes, apparently I can deactivate it. Okay, coming in. We do have a heat shield. It's a very long ship, though. Yeah, we should be good on electric charge all the way down. And yeah, it's not aerodynamically stable, I think, or, you know, a little too heavy. Between the aerodynamics and the center of mass, I think we really do need to make sure that we stay locked on surface retrograde, or we're going to have a bad time. There we go, a bit of a lag there as it's trying to load in some of the ground texture, I think. Okay, coming into 70. And let me go and kill that. Turn on our retrograde, surface retrograde lock. We're coming in at 300 meters per second. We should hopefully be able to burn all that off pretty comfortably. Cross our fingers. I think having that drogue chute is going to be really nice. I don't know when you can safely deploy the drogue. I guess what I can do is mouse over it. I mean, it'll let me know if it's unsafe or risky or actually safe. The regular parachutes, you deploy safely at 250 meters per second. And that would be nice. It'd be nice, like, if instead of setting a pressure and altitude, you could just set an airspeed on those. And I know there's a mod to let you do that. But there we go. All right, so we're still quite high. We're actually not slowing down that much. The heat effects don't, or the sort of atmospheric heat effects don't seem to scale based on the actual compression that happens. I might be wrong about that, but that's certainly the way that it feels. Because right now there shouldn't be much heat from this because it's not slowing us down that much. Because it's still very thin air. So it's sort of being over dramatic for no real reason. So lots of food and water. I'm worried we're coming in a little bit, you know, low. Maybe I should have kept it at 25K. I really like to keep it high if possible, but so far so good. We're probably going to be okay. So when we hit about 30, that we'll get start to see the real slowdowns and start to see any heat effects potentially. So far so good. Again, we had a couple of runs where we had some real reentry heat effect problems. That's because the universal storage mod hadn't been updated for the new temperature and thermodynamics from 1.04, I think. They're set for 1.02, but they changed things, I think, a little after that. Something like that. Or maybe I'm still using the version for 1.0. One or the other. Because now there's two different temperature settings. The internal temperature and the external temperature. And I think that's what was missing. So right now what we're mostly worried about is external temperature. Speed is dropping very steadily. We're still above 25k, so that's good. I mean, we've bled off 500 meters per second just from atmospheric braking at this point. Yeah, we're slowing ourselves down really, really quite well. Blader's holding in, it's in good shape. 25k above the surface, we've bled off about 1,000 delta V. Very good, and yeah, I'm going to keep it locked to surface retrograde like this because I don't trust the aerodynamics to actually keep me pointing the right way. We still have a lot of electric charge, so that is fine. Okay, good. Yeah, I definitely didn't come in too low. We had lots of slowdown here. Good reentry, really happy about that. 1,500 meters per second currently. We've lost half our speed. We haven't even started hitting the really thick parts of the atmosphere yet. So by the time we hit those, we'll be going nice and slow. It should complete the rest of the braking very fast without burning ourselves up. Really happy about the reentry. Overall, well, I shouldn't start talking yet. We haven't actually, you know, hit the water. But I was going to say, overall, this feels like it's been a really successful mission, other than the satellites, which apparently can't turn. Crew report, sure. Can I transmit it? Oh, I can. Cool. I'm not going to EVA. Wow! Trying to fool me into doing something terrible. Really good. Worst of the heat effects are dead. 15k, and our speed is dropping rapidly. We should be able to hit actual, like, proper terminal velocity. You know, just before that, just as we exit the supersonic stuff. I can't remember if this updates actively here. Oh yeah, it does. So we'll deploy the drogue. So apparently you can deploy the drogue just under 500 is what it looks like. And yeah, these you want to wait until you're around 250, which we've got now. Although I suppose we're still very, very, very high up. So we can wait a little bit longer just so that we're not dropping forever and ever and ever. Actually, I should not be physics warping. You never know when we might get krakened. Or what I'll do is I will quick save first and then physics warp. Just because every now and again your ship can tear itself apart. Ooh, that's quite shaky. I mean, it's a pretty stable and simple ship here, but I'm definitely, you know, taking some risks. Okay, I think I will stage the next level. I said I'm going to stage next level. There we go. I'd hit space many times. So as soon as we hit 1,000 meters, all these extra chutes will fully deploy. And this, I mean, it's a relatively heavy pod with a lot of stuff we're coming back with, but this should be a crazy amount of parachutes. So we should definitely land very, very, very gently. I'm hoping for something under 6 meters per second. Let's see if that works out. Here we go. Full deployment. Not under. Oh, yeah, under. Okay, good. I'll do another quick save because I'm about to fast forward since this landing will take a while. The last thing you want is to physics warp because you're being lazy and impatient and have the simulation explode on you. Even at times 4, it's taking a long time to come down. Which makes sense. I mean, if my rate is about 5 meters per second and it was from 1,000 meters, then that's going to take seconds to actually touch down. I guess 200 seconds. That's a long time. So you don't math on screen, but every now and again it works out. Okay. Getting ready for the final touchdown. 5.4 meters per second, which should be fine. I'm going to go and disable the SAS, which I could have done sooner. Land on our belly. Very nice. No science to be had? Really? Look at this. From Minmus and back with quite a lot of components. Relatively complicated mission, complicated ship. Slight failure because we couldn't steer the satellites, which really disappoints me. But overall, a smashing success. It is 95% successful. The satellite things were a bonus. They did look so adorable. I really wish they'd worked out. Holy crap, that's a lot of science. The surface sample is worth a lot. We transmit a lot of stuff home. The material studies. This is crazy amounts of science. Also, we have tons of money because we completed like so many missions here. Right, so stage destroyed, stage destroyed. Science from around the moon. Oh yeah, we completed a bonus mission on our way home. Actually, I think we had 2 of those. Apparently, we completed the create a network for the moon just by flying by it. Or maybe the 2 extra satellites at Minmus that were pointing back at Kerbin, well, they would have been overlapping the moon as well. We completed the moon network accidentally in all this. That's amazing. And we actually 2 of those. We completed the one from Minmus. Okay. So actually, even though we couldn't put our satellites in orbit around Minmus, well, no, that's not true. We have 1 satellite still in orbit around Minmus. We completed our quest, which was to have 95% plus coverage of Minmus and the moon for at least 2 days. So we completed all these missions. Holy crap, it's gone to 100% success. Right, vessel completed. Kick off space tourism. That's our leftovers from last time, and the manned orbit, and then some things being destroyed and some extra missions, and the man-powered Kerbin landing. Holy snot, you guys. That's fantastic. I'm so incredibly happy right now. How many missions do we have left in our queue? We only have 4 active contracts. Moon landing, that'll be next, and hopefully we get, like, yeah, plant flag on the moon. Boom. Plant another flag on Minmus. I may as well take it before it, because this will go away in 5 days, and I'll want to go back over there. Surface outpost on Minmus. Take some of those. And then more tourists and stuff like that. Manned Kerbin orbital docking. Yeah. So I have no idea what we're going to do next. Right now, I'm just overjoyed at our success on this mission. We have tons of science. We will look into spending all the science and the monies next time. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye-bye.